Welcome to Elevate Online. I'm Pastor Derek, and I'm so glad you joined us tonight. This is a very special week for Elevate. This is our MRT Home Edition week, and we kicked it off on Monday, and it goes through Friday. And it has been so cool to see how you guys are being creative in serving others in your homes and safely in your neighborhoods and being the hands and feet of Jesus, because that's what missions road trips are all about. I know this year we can't load in a van and travel somewhere together, but the heart of MRT is a heart of serving others, a heart of being the hands and feet of Jesus and sharing His love. And we are called to do that in our homes and in the neighborhoods. And just because of social distancing doesn't mean that we can't still live this out. And it's been so cool to already hear how you guys are doing this, how you guys are serving with the heart of Jesus. Some of the things you guys have shared on Instagram is you're doing your siblings' chores, making food for your family, cleaning up to make things easier for your family, gardening, packing up your house, cleaning pallets, washing your dog, scooping up dog poop from the yard, cleaning the house, cutting grass. And there's so much more that you guys are doing. And it's already cool. It's cool how I'm already receiving some pictures from you guys. I encourage you guys, send me pictures, because I want to make a cool video of MRT like we usually do. And it'd be so cool for us to see how each other is serving. And pictures I'm talking about is not like pictures like this from our Elevate Memes page. Well, we don't run it. One of our students does. And this is, by the way, if you don't follow this page, it's hilarious. Love the creativity. This is the crew from our MRT trip in 2018, but Corbin changed out everybody's face with mine, and let's just be real. That's nightmare-inducing, scary. I love the creativity, Corbin, but that's not the pictures I'm talking about. I'm talking about pictures like these that I got from Lizzie and Nathan, how they are serving this week, and heard from their mom how Lizzie has been making breakfast every morning for her family this week. How both are cleaning and doing yard work. So awesome job, Lizzie. Awesome job, Nathan. Guys, continue to share stories. Continue to interact on Instagram. Every morning, we give you an opportunity in our stories to share how you plan on serving others. Then at night, in the evening, we post questions on God moments from the day and random stories from the day. Great way to interact and hear from you. Some of the ways that we've heard random stories is one person wrote how their dog tried to attack the vacuum cleaner while they were cleaning. Some God moments. I love this one. To be honest, today seemed a lot more positive. Maybe because I myself felt more positive. It's amazing how when we go into it with a heart of positivity and a heart wanting to serve, how that positivity just catches on around us. It changes our day, changes our houses. One person wrote how a God moment this week was listening to Zach Williams' song, Empty Grave, while cutting grass. Very timely song coming out of Easter. And we want you all to be a part of this. And it's not too late to join us for MRT Home Edition. If you're like, well, I missed the first few days, that's okay. Go to elevateparents.org. You'll find a training video for you to watch to let you know how to participate, important things for you to know. There's a link for you to register. We want every student who's participating to register, because we have we want to know who is doing it. And also we have some things to send you at the end of the week. And then also there's an information PDF for you to look at with some ideas for ways that you can share. But I know you guys are going to come up with even better ideas and better creative ways to serve. And that's why we want you guys to continue to share throughout the week ways that you are serving, because I know you're coming up with better ideas than I ever could. Also, don't forget that each morning we're sending out links to our morning devotional, kind of kicking off the day with the right heart, the right mindset. And this is one of my favorite things we're doing this year. And each morning, we're posting a video from different students who are sharing scripture, some thoughts on that, and prayer. It's been so cool hearing the hearts from different students. We've had 3 already. Go back on our YouTube page and check those out, Laurel Naz Elevate. And check those out. They are so awesome. The students who've shared, we have 2 more days of that, and just starting out our morning in amazing ways. Thank you, students who are joining us and participating with that, sharing those devotionals. And don't forget that tomorrow, for those of you who are participating in MRT Home Edition, we have an MRT recap party. Starts at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be on Zoom. A great way for us to share with each other, encourage each other, and just like we always have a time for us to share at the end of the week, we're going to do that on Thursday. We still have 1 more day of it, but we thought it'd be cool to do it on Thursday and maybe encourage some things for the last day as we wrap it up. So send me pictures, interact on our Instagram page with questions, and a great way to be updated is to subscribe to our texting service. Just text the words Elevate Students to 31996. Every morning we send out the links to those devotional videos and reminders, and also our Instagram, if you don't know it already, is LNC_Elevate. Great way to interact with each other. I'm so excited for what God is doing, is going to continue to do through MRT Home Edition. You're awesome, guys. Thank you for serving. Laurel Nazarene Church has this online service every Sunday at 10 a.m. If you don't have a place to worship, I encourage you to join us. It's through Zoom, and we send out the link through texting, and encourage you to join us for worship if you don't already have a place you're worshiping on Sunday mornings. Right after this video at 7:45, we have our Elevate Online After Party. Encourage you to join us for times to discuss, to share about our weeks, reflect on the topic of the lesson for tonight. And also, we're going to be playing our game during our Zoom After Party as well. We're going to be playing a special Bring Me. It's Quarantine Edition. And so be ready for that. Great way to win a really sweet prize. We're actually going to be giving away this t-shirt. No one claimed it last week, and so we're going to be giving that away. The person who wins the game Bring Me Quarantine Edition is going to win this shirt. It's going to be sent to their house, and it's a great, funny shirt, a very timely toilet paper shirt. So there you go. We're going to do one more video challenge for this upcoming week, and so you guys can send me your videos or tag us on Instagram so we see it, and you'll have a chance to win an awesome prize. Our video challenge for this week is make a video about a road trip in your house. Now, it's Missions Road Trip this week, right? So I thought it'd be funny to give you guys a chance to just think about it. I don't want to be too descriptive because I want you guys to take it and run with it. Just think of a video of a road trip, but in your house, all right? And the winner this week with the best video, we're gonna feature it next week on Elevate Online, but you're gonna win, you probably guessed it, this t-shirt that I'm wearing right here. I don't know if you see it. It's praying hands with some soap suds on it, and has the verse from James 4:8, wash your hands, ye sinners. So, very timely verse right now. Wash your hands, guys. Be safe. So, the winner is going to have this shirt sent to their house. Not this one. I've already got my stink on it. But you're going to be sent a shirt from our friends at Sunday Cool in the size that you tell us, and it's going to be mailed to your house. So, think about it. Be creative. Have fun with it. Road trip in your house. And can't wait to see you guys' creativity with that. Well, we are going to enter into a time of prayer together. And I encourage you, wherever you are, however you're watching this, to join us in prayer. And just to lift up whatever you're struggling with, to be honest about what you're going through. Be real with yourself. Be real with God. And just let's pray to Him together. And we're going to be led by my friend Noah. He's going to lead us in prayer. But while he's praying, I encourage you to spend time praying as well.
Hey everybody at Elevate, I am just here to lead you in some prayer. So if you just bow your heads with me. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for being able to give us this online platform to be able to share this time of fellowship together. Though these are weird, anxious, and trying times for us, I pray that you are with us, especially as we do online missions road trip this year, as we continue to go in that, serve others, keep showing ways to serve others during this time of, well, social distancing, where we are apart from each other, figuring out creative ways to still serve each other. And Lord, I pray that you are with all of us during these times, that you continue to show yourself through us as we sit and remember to be still and know that you are God. I pray this in your name. Amen. Thank you, Elevate. I hope you have a great day.
Well, we have been in a series called Storms, and throughout this series we've been looking at some of these big questions that come about when we think about the storms of life. You know, the first question we tackled the first week was, why do the storms in life happen? Why do bad things happen in our world? And last week we talked about we talked about this question of, does God care about what I'm going through? We talked about how Jesus does care and understands what we're going through, and how getting rid of the storm is not the definition of caring. Jesus is with us. He cares about what we're going through, and he understands what we're going through. And if you missed week 1 or week 2, I encourage you to go back and watch them. Very important questions to tackle and wrestle with about the storms of life, about why do the storms in life happen, and does God care about what I'm going through? Well, this week we're going to tackle the question, where is God during the storms of life? If he cares about what I'm going through, where is he? You know, have you ever felt like God was ignoring you? Have you ever felt abandoned by him? You know, we talked about last week how he does care about what we're going through, but sometimes it feels like he's pretty distant or asleep. Pope Benedict, in his last sermon before retiring as Pope, confessed that he struggled as Pope at times because he felt like God was asleep. Even the Pope felt that way. We all at different times feel like God's not there. We all at different times feel like he may be ignoring us. But just because we feel that way doesn't mean that that's the truth of what's going on. And let's unpack that. Why do we feel that way if that's not what's actually going on? And where is he during these times that we're struggling in the storms of life? Well, let's look at a passage of scripture in Matthew 14. This is in the Gospel, the first book of the New Testament, and feel free to follow along. It's going to be on the screen to my right, but encouraged to look it up in translation, maybe you prefer. It's going to be Matthew 14, verses 22 through 33. Immediately, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from the land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." By the way, pause there. Did you know some form of the phrase, "don't be afraid," is in Scripture 365 times? Think about that. How many days are in a year? That's pretty cool, isn't it? So just something to think about. Verse 28, "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. I love Peter in this story because he's like, "Hey, if this is you, tell me to come out to you and I'll walk on water." I don't know if he's thinking, "Hey, this is my only chance I'm going to get to walk on water." I don't know, but he's like, hey, I love Peter in this because he's like, hey, I'm going to take action, walk towards Jesus, to trust him with this. Verse 29, "Come," Jesus said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. He's walking on water. He's doing it. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink. And he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." This is a fascinating scripture. First of all, they're walking on water. That's pretty cool. How cool would it be to walk on water? Jesus is here walking and standing leisurely on the water in the midst of a storm. So it's not staying steady. It's all over the place. And he's just standing and hanging out. And he walks out. Think about the disciples' reaction when they first see him. They believed he was the Son of God. They saw him do all these amazing miracles. And yet, their first thing that they chose to believe when they saw a being on the water, they saw Jesus on the water, was to believe that it was some type of ghost. Isn't it amazing how we say, "Yes, God, we have faith in you, we trust you." But we are more likely to believe something preposterous like a ghost or other crazy things than believe in him. Even his disciples who these 3.5 years of his earthly ministry spent just about every waking moment with him and saw him do these amazing things and said, "Yes, I believe in you." But when they see something walking on water, they're more likely to believe in something like a ghost than Jesus himself. We can be a lot like the disciples, right? Believe in things that are kind of crazy instead of actually believing in him. And then he says, it's me. And they're like, oh my goodness. And Peter, he actually, we kind of criticize Peter in this because he lost faith in Jesus and started to sink. But he's the only disciple out of the 12 who was willing to step out of the boat. Think about that. There's this storm still going on. He sees Jesus. He sees this as an opportunity to walk on water and to trust him. And he's willing to step out of the boat, step out of comfort, to step out of something that's safe and go into the wild unknown of the storm with Jesus. Jesus calls each and every single one of us in some way to step out of the safety and comfort that we try to build around us and says, trust me. Come out with me. Step into the unknown with me. We're in a storm right now. And there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of unknowns of how long this is going to be. There's a lot of unknowns of what's to come next. But Jesus is saying to each and every single one of us, step out of the boat. Trust me. Doesn't mean being irresponsible or reckless. It doesn't mean don't follow CDC guidelines. That has nothing to do with this. That's not what we're talking about. Be smart in that. We're talking trust him in our hearts and in our minds and saying, yeah, we're going into the unknown. No one knows what's next. But we can trust Jesus because he's going to be with us. And just like Peter, step out of the boat. So he steps out of the boat and he's doing it. He's walking. While he sees Jesus, while he's looking at Jesus, he is able to stand and walk on the water. But then he begins to sink. And look at it. Look at that passage. Why? Because he took his eyes off of Jesus and then started focusing on the storm. What you focus on tends to become your reality if you let it. Are we focusing on Jesus or are we focusing on the storm? What you focus on is also what you end up putting your trust in. So often, instead of focusing on Jesus in the storms, we're like Peter, we focus on the storms themselves. And then all of a sudden, the storm seems so much bigger because that's what we're casting our eyes on. That's what we're focusing on. And that's what we start to put more trust in, more faith in, and start to believe that it's bigger than Jesus. Well, the storm is probably bigger than us, but it's not bigger than Jesus. And the only reason it seems that way is because we've taken our eyes off of him. And then Peter began to sink. But he does what we should all do. Jesus, save me. He cried out to him. And if you feel like you're sinking, I encourage you to say that prayer. Jesus, save me. Help me. I need you. And Jesus, it says, immediately reached out his hand and pulled him out. So that leads to this question, where was Jesus while he was sinking? Right there. Right beside Peter, because he could immediately pull him out. He was in an arm's reach the entire time from Peter. But the problem was Peter couldn't see Jesus because his eyes were focused on the storm. He lost sight of Jesus. But just because you couldn't see Jesus doesn't mean Jesus wasn't there. You may be in a storm where you're saying, God is absent. He's abandoned me. Well, you may feel that way because you're focusing on the storm. But that doesn't change where Jesus actually is. He is right with you, ready to pull you out. All you got to do is say, Jesus, save me. Jesus, help me. This is too big for me. Storms seem overwhelming when we put all of our focus on that. By focusing on them, we start then to trust them, and then we trust them and we start to say, hey, I believe this is bigger than Jesus. But it's not. Jesus is right there and says, trust me, cast your eyes on me, look to me for guidance, for help, for strength. I'm with you in the storm. Even though you may feel abandoned, like Peter probably did, doesn't change the truth and the reality that Jesus hasn't abandoned you. You've just taken your eyes off of him and started focusing on the storm of life. So when you feel alone, when you're hurting, when you're stressed, when you're overwhelmed, when you're scared, let me tell you this truth. Jesus is right there, reaching out his hand, saying, I want to help you. Will you trust me? I One of my favorite paintings is from this artist named Eric Samuel Tim. Some of you who were at NYC last year, you remember him. He spoke and did some paintings throughout the week. Very gifted artist and speaker. And this painting is called See No Longer, S-E-A, No Longer. And it's a beautiful portrait of the hand of Jesus reaching out to not just Peter's hand, but all of us, pulling us out of the sea, pulling us out of the storms of life, helping us. You notice the one arm looks scarred and it's been through so much. And the light that comes in to pull out of the darkness. I love this painting because it just reminds us that Jesus is always there. Question is, where is our focus? What are we looking at? The storms or Jesus? Who are we putting our trust in? Jesus or the storms? We don't have to live in the storm. Now, it doesn't mean that the storms don't happen. What I mean is we don't have to drown because Jesus is there to pull us up, to help us. You know what's interesting? When he pulled them out, they were still in the storm, right? But Jesus was with them. All of a sudden, the storm seemed a lot smaller. The storm seemed a lot more insignificant to the power of Jesus because Peter was trusting Jesus. He said, "Save me," and he grabbed his hand. Jesus pulled him out. And he was basically saying, let's walk through this storm together. And that's what Jesus' invitation is to each and every single one of you. Call on me, he says. My hand's reached out, ready to pull you out. Doesn't mean the storm's necessarily going to go away, but I'm going to walk. Jesus says, I want to walk with you through it. I want to help you. I want to give you the strength to walk on the waves in the midst of the storm and keep your eyes focused on him. Because when you focus on the storms become too much and we begin to sink. Put your trust, your hope in him because he's with you. So where's Jesus in the storm? Right with you. The question is, where are you going to focus your eyes on? The storms or him? I want us to spend some time reflecting on this together. And so there's going to be some reflection questions. I know it can be tempting to ignore this, skip ahead, or things like that. But I encourage you, it's just going to be 3 minutes total. Count about 1.5 minutes of reflection and then 1.5 minutes of prayer. And you're just going to be guided on the screen. I encourage you, spend this time reflecting prayerfully, just casting your eyes on Jesus, trusting him in the midst of the storm.
Mimicking Jesus, I buried my sin in 3 days, it's back up again. In the beginning we would give anything, lying for ministry, missions and bigger things. You can take everything, you just give me the key. But the fire faded. I just want to retire with saving. Are you the safest with the world loving you? Or had enough of you? Who's in more danger? The persecuted or the comfortable? Give us a crown. You can hold on to them thorns. I don't want them having more. Nobody will suffer no more. Only say things that will end with applause. Don't offend no one except for the Lord. No mas, you were too good to be throwing your crumbs. I'm at the cross, do what you want.
Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior.
Stay on top, become the servant of all. When you the servant of all, no competition's involved. Cause who was knocking you off, there's no one left to fall. Progressing with the flow, that's a little one. As I'm assured, I'm sure you're missing these little puns. I'm assured, yeah, the settlement is finna come. He's still shining if I'm jacked for every nickel, son. Cause no way I'ma die slow. No way I'ma die slow.
I'm so glad that you joined us tonight. I want to remind you before you go that you matter. You belong. And God has a purpose for your life. Don't forget to join us for our Zoom party starting at 7:45, where we're going to reflect more on this, share and play a game. And until next week, see ya.